problem with women is they think they're equal to men.
Over the last few weeks on EastEnders, we've seen the fallout from Joel's behaviour as he became influenced by a toxic online world. Our storyline got me thinking. It's a world I know almost nothing about. So I've enlisted the help of Ellie and Max. We're investigating a corner of the internet where male frustration can harden into anger. It's called the Manosphere. Darling?
Yeah?
Are you hungry?
Yeah.
As a parent, you know, I want to know what their world is going to look like if we're not going to do something about some of the more toxic elements in our society.
This is my brother, Joe. He's a year and a bit older than me. And I'm better at football than him.
mate.
It's been a really good storyline. I think it's massively important because what we do in our show, in Soap, it opens up conversation. It becomes a water cooler moment.
In my storyline, Drake Zagan is a sort of Andrew Tate-esque character. And I don't know if you remember when we had an assembly at school about Andrew Tate.
I just knew that it was like he was having a massive impact.
And a lot of it, I think, we just saw as banter.
You tend to go along with the crowd, don't you?
People don't want to be the odd one out because then you get bullied, then you get targeted. So if everyone's sitting around in the toilet watching Andrew Tate videos and laughing, you're gonna laugh.
Yeah.
The online manosphere increases real-world misogyny, which creates real-world victims.
Girls these days don't want flowers or chocolate, right? What I hit in my recently deleted.
Is that a Varney?
I was 13 when it started and the guys involved were 17, so there was already quite a big power imbalance. He was like this very popular guy at school, very attractive, everyone knew who he was. I'd never spoken to him before and I was incredibly flattered. He was like almost immediately asking me to send him photos. When I would say no and not send him photos, he wouldn't text me in the evenings. I found that really hard. It felt like a bit of a punch. And it sounds so silly when you say it, I don't know.
It doesn't sound silly. It doesn't. It's completely understandable.
But it was very addictive. And, you know, and then he would say that, like, if I didn't send him what he wanted, he'd have to tell everyone at school how frigid I was.
Frigid was the biggest thing as well.
Yeah.
Growing up, it's so manipulative because you don't want to seem frigid to anybody else. So then when you get threatened with it, you're like, no, I'll do it.
Yeah. I think I was trying to persuade myself that sending a photo could be empowering, but eventually I couldn't handle it anymore. It was a cycle of like going to bed feeling terrible. I felt disgusting. And then I got a message from another guy in his year a couple of weeks later. He asked me to send him photos. I ignored that, and then he sent me 4 photos he already had of me. From the first guy. They'd been playing top trumps with them.
What was your first thought when you got those photos?
I can't even, there isn't even like a metaphor I can use to explain what it felt like. It literally did feel like everything just came crashing down. I literally watched them spread rapidly through schools, and they called my mum in. And they said, like, we know Roxy's been sending photos to boys.
Roxy's been sending photos to boys?
Yeah, and I was punished for breaking their tech code of conduct. Nothing happened to the boys. If I'd gone for help and just spoken to one person, then it could have stopped. It would have saved me and my mum, like, years of just wasted time and pain.
The Manosphere is a whole collection of blogs, influencers, forums where extremists advocate for the idea that men are superior over women and women ought to be subordinated to them.
If you want to be treated with more respect, yeah, then listen to this guy, Drake Zagan. He's got 2 million followers.
A lot of the rhetoric within the Manosphere is creating this idea that women are the villains, that like anything that that boys might be experiencing in their lives that are difficult can be blamed on women. And I think often they're targeting boys at an extremely vulnerable developmental stage. So just when they're about to start dating or want to start dating for the first time. You know, that's a terrible time for everyone. But they can say to them, like, look, all this rejection you're experiencing, all these feelings of humiliation and embarrassment, you can blame them on them. And when you're in these online spaces, it can feel like everyone agrees with these views.
Do you think that boys intentionally go looking for this misogynistic material?
Some boys might go looking for it, but we know that 69% of teenage boys between the ages of 11 and 14 have been served content that's negative about women and girls without ever having searched for it.
So, for instance, are boys looking for other types of content and then being led down a pathway to something else?
There is a suggestion that there's certain types of gateway content, so for example gaming or fitness or self-help, where boys can look for that type of content and then find their way to online misogyny through that gateway content.
For me, I think it started when I was 12, when that sort of, well, what you'd label as Manosphere content. When you're surrounded in that space, because you're watching that content, slowly and slowly, even though consciously you're thinking, oh yeah, this is a bit of a joke, this is just banter, you're actually finding yourself reinforcing those ideas.
For me, at a similar time, I came across Andrew Tate and these kind of videos. My initial response was, this is a joke. And then it's, okay, this guy's got loads of money, this looks very appealing. You with your friends at school, did you sort of influence each other?
It's quite interesting because I still have friends I could call up and text right now and I'm still good mates with, but I'm still so far into this. And they'll still be justifying it, they'll still be justifying Tate's actions.
And Will?
A masculinity influencer for me became a father figure when I was 22. I got hooked. I remember at that time, there's this sense of what a successful man is. That is definitely portrayed online. And I wasn't matching up to that standard.
Did that play into your feelings of whether or not you could establish relationships with women?
It played into how I viewed feminism. It was a very us versus them.
Hostile.
Very hostile world. And it felt like when I left the house, it's like, oh, there's someone, a feminist is going to be out to get me.
What actually brought you through and out of that manosphere?
I joined a support group. And in this kind of open and non-judgmental space, slowly but surely it became clear that the actual world is so different to the online world. And I started to gain perspective around what it meant to be a man, around my place in society, around what success means. And it was a long, drawn-out process.
It's framed so much like these influencers are your path to success. But they aren't. They don't care about your success.
They care about you.
They don't care about you.
You're a number on a screen.
Their entire business model and their entire success comes from this entire generation of young boys not being successful and feeling insecure. They are profiting off a generation of young boys' insecurity.
Yeah, so this is so much more than the online world. You know, the broader conversation that I think needs to happen is how do we relate to boys, men, and masculinity, full stop? And if we can start having that conversation, that's the one that's going to be driving us forward to progress, to solutions.
First word that comes to your head. The category is men. Great, more words. As many words as possible.
With our workshops, we aim to have conversations about what masculinity is, what expectation there are on men, what expectation there are on boys.
Masculine, beard, sleep.
Them being able to gain different perspectives on it now is how they're gonna be able to build their own version of what it means to be a man.
There's loads of confusion out there, but there are voices like those in there trying to guide boys and young men into a more positive direction.
I felt like people weren't really listening to young people. So what I wanted to do was build a platform that would get young people talking about this stuff so that like parents listen, teachers listen, government listens. Like, you know, young people know what it's like to grow up online. We should be asking them and encouraging them to speak about it.
Well, I think it is the most incredible work that you're doing.
I actually can't tell you how much that means because obviously it doesn't get any easier. It's still like every time it's slightly like...
It can't be easy.
But thank you.
This logic that men have to be scary to be seen as masculine.
No human being can endlessly be strong.
I just wanted to say that I love you.
Maybe we need to find more common ground or empathy.
Boys will be what we teach them to be.
No one could believe what had happened. Headlines
Sam Brown recently went viral with his poem, Silly Billy.
Ultimate goal is that there will be somebody on social media who is going through a tough time, and there will be a video of someone telling them that what they need to do is work harder or hate women, or these are the reasons why your problems are happening. And then they'll scroll down and then they'll see a clip of me essentially turning around and being like, mate, your life's not purposeless. I want a gentler social media, and I think that might turn into a slightly gentler world. Billies aren't evil. They're failures of a system, a misguided form of discipline. So guys, please be disciplined. Walk those whole shirts flying. But when you're sat at the pub or on your Xbox parties and you think your misogyny is tongue in cheek, statistically, one of your boys ain't joking. Thank you.
So important. I mean, if you don't start the conversation, you're not going to help the next generation of people who are trying to make this world a safer place.
There's a lot that I'll take away. Yeah, it was powerful, moving. It's made me think about my personal experiences growing up, and actually realised that maybe I was more affected by these things than I thought I was.
Back at EastEnders, the story moves on. It's Christmas already. But the Manosphere is still out there, and its effects can reach us all. What we really hope is that our storyline, even in a little way, will start a conversation, because the boys who are getting into this are being sold a lie. The Manosphere is a business model. Every click, every tap, every view is money in the pockets of those competing for our attention with ever more extreme content. I don't know, maybe I'm naive, but I have faith that in the end they'll be found out. And the more we talk, the quicker we'll get there.